If the idea of composting makes you really worried, just stop there. Hold it. I've made all those mistakes and I'm here to show you how you can do it without them. Welcome to this video on Bokashi composting. On my YouTube channel, Why Garden, I'm going to show you how you can create natural fertilizer from your own food and garden waste so that you can keep all the nutrients recycled in your own property. Why give it away when it's valuable in the end if you know what you're doing? You know how if you're watching videos on YouTube, everyone makes it seem so easy. Reality TV is not reality in real life. They speed it up. They make it look so easy. They don't focus on the issues that you can have to make it more easy to do. The problems you have and how to overcome them. Well, this is an honest review of what I've learned over the years to create my own Bokashi compost easily and cleanly without nasty smells. Well, it can be messy if you don't do it right. It can be smelly if you don't do it right. If you stick with me, I will show you all of the things that I have learned so that you can get it right first time. There'll be no glossing over those hard parts, because the hard parts are the parts where you learn. When you learn, you can do it right again. So stick with me. Remember to like my channel and subscribe for the next few videos on how to recycle your food and garden waste so that you can create your own natural, nourishing garden yourself.
Bokashi composting is a type of anaerobic composting method, which means without air, that's great for breaking down food scraps and other organic materials. Bokashi composting uses a special mixture of microorganisms to ferment the materials, making them more easily broken down by other microbes once they're added to a compost pile or garden. I'm so keen on the benefits of Bokashi that I even provide a Bokashi system for my Airbnb guests to use, and they are impressed, usually. And if they don't know about it, it's a great opportunity for me to show somebody else how easy it is to compost your own food waste. The Bokashi composting system originated in Japan in the 1980s. It was developed as an alternative to traditional composting methods, which can sometimes attract pests and produce unpleasant odours. You know those ones? They smell like rotten meat or even smell like vomit. Sorry if you've just eaten. Bokashi composting uses a special inoculant which reduces the odour, and are known as effective microorganisms, or EM, to ferment the kitchen waste. Besides vegetable peelings and offcuts, you can also add meat, dairy and citrus, and these last three are typically not suitable for traditional composting. The end result is a nutrient-rich compost that can be used to improve soil. This video, I'm going to explain how Bokashi composting works. I'm going to review why composting is a good idea. I'll show you what Bokashi looks like. I'll demonstrate my process of both creating and using Bokashi. And once we've done that, we'll move on to the pros and cons and common mistakes that you need to be aware of so that you know exactly what to do before you start. I'll show you how to get started and what equipment is needed. So by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what to do and how to avoid making smelly mistakes, how you can easily and cleanly recycle your food waste into a natural, healthy garden fertilizer that benefits you and benefits the planet. It's tempting to think of soil as just dirt and the plants just live in there, but actually what we're trying to grow is healthy soil. By feeding the soil, we're going to get some healthy plants, and this is how we do it. Quite simply, we collect food waste, put it in the compost, and we get free fertilizer. Inside the compost are bacteria and fungi who excrete enzymes that reduce the compost into nutrients to build healthy soil. Now here's the bit I didn't know. To make healthy soil, the bacteria and fungi from the compost create enzymes and nutrients within the soil that the plants reach out for The bacteria also reach the plants. It's a symbiotic relationship. The compost feeds the soil soil feeds the plants, and the plants feed you. Now to my Bokashi system in action. I've created dinner, some food scraps from dinner, vegetables, a bit of meat, some leftover egg shells there. Anything that used to be growing was organic can go in. Next comes in some Bokashi bran. This is what it looks like. Just sprinkle a small amount on top. I may have gone a touch overboard, I feel. Now, because it's an anaerobic system, you want to squeeze as much air out as you can, and it's excluded with a tight-fitting lid. Here's the Bokashi bran, and it is available in New Zealand in hardware stores or online. I've put a little too much here, I feel, and maybe just enough on this one. Then it's into the Bokashi bucket. Here it is taken apart with holes in one and a collecting bucket below, and a tight-fitting lid snaps on nice and firmly. Here's my Bokashi already made and ready to go, and here I am taking the top layer off so that I can use the Bokashi liquid as a diluted spray onto the garden and onto my lawn, which has been needing some nutrition of late. So diluting it, 1 in 100 for the soil, or 1 in 200 for putting straight onto your foliage. Then it's out with a watering can, and away we go, giving the plants some well needed nutrition. So it's on my lawn with a little bit patchy here. And then what do you do with the contents of the bucket? Here I've put it into my raised bed. It's been fallow for a little while, and it's going to be there for 2 weeks before I decided to plant. So we've gone from kitchen waste to compost to popping it into the garden. Now a little bit on the containers that you put the Bokashi in. This is a purpose-built one, and there's a reason for it. It's got holes in the base that fits into a collecting bucket, and it's got an extremely firm fitting lid because it is an airless compost system. You can buy these buckets ready-made, and they are around 75 New Zealand dollars, or you could try some recycling some old containers, just fitting one inside the other as I have done. You need two, one that you close up, the other that you have as an ongoing process. Now we're looking at the pros and cons of doing a Bokashi composting system. The pros, it's convenient. Bokashi composting is a convenient way to compost your food waste in your own home without the need for large compost bins or much outdoor space. But you do need some outdoor space. You can add food waste to the Bokashi system that you can't add to other composting methods. This includes leftover protein, solid dairy food, and acidic foods such as citrus. It's a clean and tidy system with its self-sealing lid and clean container. Bokashi is ideal for use in apartments. It reduces waste. Bokashi composting is a clean and easy way to reduce your food waste and its impact on the environment. It sits outside and some other municipal waste producing methane gas. You're not doing this, are you? So Bokashi harnesses natural processes of biological decomposition using the theory of Korean natural farming. This adds microorganisms which pickle the waste, avoiding the smelly decomposition. It's faster. Bokashi composting is speedier than traditional composting, preparing it for compost in just 2 weeks and then decomposing in the soil in just 4. The cons. There's a limited output, so if you want to have a large amount of compost, Bokashi doesn't do it. However, as you continue to work the system, in time you can rotate the placement of it so that you can have in each part of your garden to enjoy the benefits of the compost. You need to keep the system closed for 2 weeks, and once the container is full, so you'll need more than one of them. For a family, you'll probably need several Bokashi systems running at once to cope with the waste, or larger ones that you make yourself. But it's cheap and easy to make your own. An initial investment requires some equipment such as the bin, which I've already shown you, and an ongoing purchase of the specially inoculated starter culture known as Bokashi bran. Some people have created their own bran culture. You could check it out on YouTube. I did, and now I thought, no, this is just too much effort. It takes 6 weeks, more than I'm prepared to do. You need to be aware that it needs to be further decomposed once you have created the compost. That means you need to find somewhere to bury your Bokashi compost in some soil outside before it's fully available to plants. No, it's not suitable to put into your pot plants at this stage because it's very high in acidity and will kill your plants. But you can dig it into a trench in your garden. You could also put it into your compost pile for a super accelerated compost with your garden waste. Or you could place it in a self-composting bag and gift it to your local community garden or to a friend who is a keen gardener. Trust me, they will love it. And finally, here's some common mistakes to avoid. Firstly, not draining the liquid regularly enough. Bokashi composting produces a liquid byproduct which must be drained every 2 to 3 days to avoid odours. You can dilute this 100 parts of water to 1 part of Bokashi liquid and use as a foliage spray from your garden. It's highly beneficial and promote healthy plants from the high microbial level in your spray. The second common mistake is not adding enough Bokashi bran. It's necessary to inoculate the food with beneficial microorganisms, but without enough bran, the composting process may not be successful. Also, avoid adding anything that's already starting to smell horrible and putrid. That will stop the Bokashi bran from actually working and will make your system completely fail. Finally, not excluding enough oxygen. This compost is an anaerobic system, which means without air. So it's really important to press down the layers as you add them into your main bin, and the lid should be clipped back down firmly next every time you use it to exclude any further air. But once you know about these mistakes and avoid them, you'll be able to have a Bokashi system very readily. It takes a while to learn how to compost and how to get your garden really going well, but I recommend that you really start off with the Bokashi composting system, which you can very quickly and cleanly get into your garden and have some really lush, green, nourishing food that will work for you. See you in the next video. Remember to subscribe and like. I'll see you then.